DJ, I produce, I engineer, and I'm an artist. And my dad is the king of crunk, Lil Jon.
I go by DJ Young Slade.
So was there one particular moment in time that you saw your dad doing his thing and be like, you know what, that's what I want to do too?
Yeah, for sure. He had brought me to an after party. He was DJing, and I just seen him rocking the crowd. He was on the mic, and he was just playing all the jams where everybody was dancing. You know, he telling them to put their hands up, they put their hands up. He telling them to put them down, they put them down. So it's just like...
Body has been found in a pond in Milton in the search for the son of rapper Lil Jon.
Nathan Smith, known in music circles as DJ Young Slade, was found unresponsive in a pond near his home in Milton, Georgia. He was just 27. Authorities have stated there was no sign of outside involvement. But online, people are still trying to process it all, wondering how something like this could happen so suddenly. Today, we're walking through what's publicly known, the timeline, the questions, and why this story feels heavier than just another headline. Because when someone young, talented, and building momentum is suddenly gone, it naturally leaves people searching for answers. This isn't just about loss. It's about a 27-year-old man who stepped out of his house one Tuesday morning and never returned. That alone hits hard. So let's slow it down and really talk about who Nathan Smith was, beyond the headlines and beyond being labeled as someone's son. Nathan Smith, professionally known as DJ Young Slade, was living in Milton, Georgia, about 30 miles north of Atlanta, the same city where his father, Lil Jon, built a global name. And when we say built a name, we're talking about a Grammy-winning pioneer of crunk music, the voice behind era-defining anthems like Yeah, with Usher and Ludacris, and of course, Turn Down for What? Those records shaped a whole generation of hip-hop energy. That's the legacy Nathan was born into. But here's the important part. He wasn't just riding on his father's fame, not at all. Nathan carved his own lane. He was a producer, an artist, and an engineer. And academically, he graduated from New York University, one of the most respected universities in the country. Getting into NYU takes serious focus. Finishing takes even more discipline. That speaks volumes about who he was behind the scenes. He balanced education with music. While building technical skills in engineering and production, he was also developing his sound. This wasn't someone casually experimenting. He was intentional about his craft. He was laying foundations. His father openly spoke about how close they were. You could see it in interviews and public appearances. In 2024, they even appeared together on Family Feud, laughing, joking, clearly comfortable around each other.
But how does it feel being his son, man, and whatever you learn from Pops?
Man, it's crazy. It's trippy because, I just see him as dad. But everybody, see him as Lil Jon. I even got a tattoo of his signature. It was like something ironic for me because it's like, it's just my dad, but had to get the signature. It was like, yeah. But I don't know, man. It's interesting. I was just talking to this is my best friend, Will, my manager.
What up, Will?
And I was talking about the anger management tour. It was like 2004. I was like, 5, 6, something like that. And he brought me on stage, and I was just like, bro, I was so shy, bro. I was a little kid, whatever. But it's just crazy to have experiences like that and then go home and we just drinking tea, playing video games.
It wasn't stiff or staged. It looked like a real father-son bond, the kind of connection people genuinely hope for in their own families. And from what's been shared publicly, Nathan had a reputation that stood out. Lil Jon described him as kind, thoughtful, and warm-hearted. Now, of course, that's a father speaking during an emotional time. But it wasn't just him saying it. Friends, collaborators, and people in the industry echoed similar sentiments. They described Nathan as genuine, calm energy, respectful, focused. In an industry that can be loud, competitive, and sometimes artificial, that kind of personality stands out. His production work was also starting to gain recognition. He wasn't just experimenting in the background, he was quietly building credits and relationships, step by step, no shortcuts. That's what makes this situation feel so heavy for a lot of people. A young man with talent, education, support, and opportunity. Someone who appeared to be moving forward. And now, suddenly, he's gone. He was in the studio world for real, engineering tracks, working with artists, stacking credits, and building a portfolio piece by piece.
So was there one particular moment in time that you saw your dad doing his thing and be like, you know what, that's what I want to do too?
Yeah, for sure. He had brought me to an after party he was DJing, and I just seen him rocking the crowd. He was on the mic, and he was just playing all the jams with everybody was dancing. You know, he telling them to put their hands up, they put their hands up. He telling them to put them down, they put them down. So it's just like, you know, it impressed me. And we went home, and he put on this app Serato on my computer. I was messing around with some beats and songs, and he was like, "Man, that sounds cool." And so he set me up with some turntables, and that was history. Like, he just, you know, taught me a few things and just let me do my thing.
This wasn't some famous dad situation where a kid just plays with music because he can. Nathan was locked in, he had the education, he had access to rooms most people never even see, and on top of that, he had the actual talent and hunger to earn his own respect. So when word started spreading that he vanished under weird circumstances, the hip-hop community didn't brush it off. People started paying attention fast because this wasn't adding up from the jump. Now here's where the details matter, so stay with me, because the timeline is a big reason folks are side-eyeing this whole situation. Early Tuesday morning, Nathan didn't calmly step outside. He reportedly ran out of his house on foot. Not went for a drive, not took a quick walk, but ran like something had him rattled. And then comes the part that really made people pause. He left without his phone. In 2025, that's almost unheard of. A 27-year-old producer, your phone is your whole life. Sessions, contacts, notes, location, everything. Most people don't even take the trash out without their phone. So the idea of him sprinting out the house with it left behind feels off in a serious way.
You know, of course, this event is about togetherness, family, and your friend Lil Jon suffered a tragedy. How are you supporting him at a time like this?
I talked to him yesterday, so my condolences goes out to, you know, him and his family. It's tragic. I don't know how that feels, but, you know, I'm sure I know it's devastating for him. So, you know, like I said, my condolences go out to him and his family.
That detail alone makes people wonder what headspace he was in at that exact moment. Because leaving your phone can point to panic, confusion, or someone not thinking clearly at all. It's not even about being forgetful. It's about how unusual that move is when you're rushing out like that. The Milton Police Department got the call that Tuesday morning after his family reported him missing. And right away, the messaging made it clear this wasn't being treated like a normal adult didn't come home situation. The missing person alert said Nathan may be disoriented and in need of assistance. That phrase matters. It's basically the careful official way of saying something might be seriously wrong here. Disoriented can mean a lot of things, and we have to be fair about that. It could point to a mental health crisis, extreme stress, a panic episode, lack of sleep, or something else affecting his judgment. People online started throwing around theories, but the only solid point is this. The people closest to him didn't act like this was normal behavior for Nathan. Family and friends weren't just concerned, they were worried about his safety immediately, like they sensed something was off before he even ran out that door. And that makes you wonder what the hours leading up to Tuesday morning really looked like. And keep in mind, Milton is known as a quiet, well-off suburban area. Tree-lined streets, big homes, calm neighborhoods, the kind of place where something like this stands out even more. Milton isn't the kind of place where people just vanish without noise. It's quiet, organized, suburban. So when someone disappears there, especially under worrying circumstances, the whole area reacts fast. And that's exactly what happened in Nathan's case. For days, the search didn't slow down. The Milton Police Department, family, friends, neighbors, everyone got involved. People were scanning wooded areas, walking through nearby streets, checking local businesses. His photo was everywhere. Social media lit up. Because of his father, Lil Jon, the story spread beyond Georgia almost instantly. The hip-hop community reposted updates, hoping for good news, hoping he'd be found safe. Search groups formed. Volunteers knocked on doors. People reviewed doorbell cameras and security footage from nearby homes. Every possible lead was reportedly followed up. This wasn't being treated lightly. The media attention added pressure. When a well-known family is involved, everything moves under a spotlight. But Tuesday passed, then Wednesday, then Thursday. Still nothing. And here's the reality. When someone is missing for days, especially if there are concerns about their mental state, people start fearing the worst. That's not speculation, that's just human instinct. The longer it goes, the heavier it feels. Everyone involved likely understood that time wasn't on their side. Then Friday morning came. Search teams discovered a body in a pond not far from Nathan's home, close enough to hit hard. This wasn't miles away. It was near where he lived with his family. a neighborhood retention pond, the kind you see in suburban developments across the country, built for drainage, surrounded by trees and brush, the type of spot you might pass every day without giving it a second thought. The Milton Police Department released a statement saying the body was believed to be Nathan Smith.
The son of rapper Lil Jon has been found dead. Police discovered the body, believed to be that of 27-year-old Nathan Smith, in a pond outside Atlanta. A short time later, Lil Jon issued a statement saying he was heartbroken at the loss of his son. Smith, whose stage name was DJ Young Slade, was last seen leaving his Georgia home Tuesday morning. Police say he may have been disoriented at the time. They also say at this point, there's no indication of foul play.
Damn, this sad. So if y'all ain't heard, because we know Lil Jon was just set to perform at the Super Bowl, right? But then he got to deal with this. Lil Jon's son, Nathan Smith, been missing for like over a week now. They said he was last seen at 6 o'clock a.m. at his house in Milton. But y'all, it was kind of weird because they said he ran out naked. No phone, no wallet, no shoes, no keys, no nothing. And damn, y'all, so the police did announce that they did find a body in the Milton pond, and they believe it was Nathan Smith. And right now, they said that they don't think there was any foul play. I mean, that's even a little weird. Like, that don't seem like somebody trying to, plan to run away. It seemed like that was an emergency or something, And y'all, they said he was 27 years old. You think, how can a 27-year-old drown himself in a pond? Is ponds that deep? And prayers out to the family and everything, man, and Lil Jon. Now, do y'all think Lil Jon's still gonna perform? And I know all the conspiracy theories about to go crazy. Comment down below and y'all let me know what y'all think.
Official confirmation was pending through the Fulton County Medical Examiner's office using standard identification methods. But based on location, clothing, and timing, authorities indicated it matched. Then came the line that sparked the most conversation. Police stated that, based on the investigation at that time, there was no indication of foul play. That phrase carried weight, because what that usually means is there's no visible evidence that someone else directly caused harm. It can suggest an accident. It can suggest a personal crisis. It can suggest a tragic sequence of events without outside involvement. But this is where public reaction started shifting. Online, people began asking questions, not making accusations, but asking questions. Because to some, the timeline still feels confusing. Running out of the house, leaving a phone behind, ending up in a pond nearby. It's a chain of events that people are trying to piece together. Now, it's important to be careful here. Authorities haven't publicly indicated third-party involvement, but at the same time, when details feel incomplete, speculation naturally grows. That's just how the internet moves. So when people say something feels off, they're usually pointing to one thing above everything else: the unanswered question about Nathan's mental state in those final hours. And that's where the conversation gets deeper. Police shared that Nathan left home under unusual circumstances and may have been disoriented. That wording usually points to something affecting a person's judgment, possibly a mental health episode, extreme stress, or even a reaction to something in his system. But here's why people are struggling with that explanation. From the outside, Nathan appeared to be doing well. He was actively working on music. He had recently appeared on Family Feud alongside his father, Lil Jon. He seemed connected to family, present, engaged, so the question naturally becomes, where did this sudden crisis come from? Now, to be fair, in the music industry, especially in hip-hop, mental health struggles are very real and often deeply private. We've seen talented artists pass away far too soon, including Mac Miller, Juice WRLD, and DMX. In many of those cases, the public only understood the depth of their struggles after everything had already unfolded. So it's not impossible that Nathan could have been dealing with something internally. Depression doesn't care about fame. Anxiety doesn't care about connections. Mental health challenges can affect anyone, and sometimes the people who seem the most stable are the best at hiding what they're going through. That's just reality. But what stands out here is how sudden everything feels. Running out of the house early in the morning, leaving behind a phone. That suggests something intense happened in that moment, something that triggered urgency. Was it a severe panic episode? Was it overwhelming fear? Was it confusion brought on by lack of sleep? Could it have been a reaction to medication or another substance? These are possibilities people are discussing, not accusations, just attempts to understand what could cause behavior that out of character.
I gotta ask you, man, our brother, Lil Jon, man.
Yeah, man, I send my condolences to Lil Man. Nephew, man. We were just on Family Feud together, all of us. Me, Lil Jon, his son, Shorty Putt, and Too Short, man, like a few months back.
You guys made history. You guys made history together. I know you have so much love for their family. Any message to?
I just send my love and support. You know what I mean, Lil Jon. Anything you need that I can provide, I'm here for you. I love you, and you know that, brother. And we're gonna miss nephew.
All right, thank you. Hey, thank you.
Okay.
Toxicology results, if publicly released, may offer clarity, or they may not. Sometimes those reports answer questions. Sometimes they leave more. There's also the broader conversation about undiagnosed or untreated conditions. Certain disorders can emerge in a person's 20s and affect perception or decision-making. Episodes can happen suddenly, even if someone appeared fine days earlier. But without confirmed information from the family or medical professionals, it would be irresponsible to label anything as fact. And that leads into the second big question people keep raising: the pond. Nathan was found in a retention pond near his home. In places like Milton, Georgia, ponds like that aren't unusual. They're common in residential developments, used for drainage and stormwater management. You'll see them near houses, near walking paths, near roads. They blend into the neighborhood landscape, but people are still asking, how did he end up there? Was he disoriented and accidentally stumbled into the water? Was it dark? Was visibility low? Did he approach it intentionally while in distress? These are hard questions, and right now, they remain questions. Because when a situation unfolds this fast and the answers feel limited, people try to connect the dots themselves, and that's where the speculation continues. Or, is there something we're missing? Police have been clear so far. They say there's no sign of foul play. In simple terms, that means investigators haven't found evidence suggesting another person directly caused his passing. No visible signs of a struggle. No witnesses placing someone else with him. No immediate red flags pointing to outside involvement. But here's where people get caught up. No foul play does not mean every detail is fully explained. It just means, at this stage, there's no proof of someone else being involved. That's an important difference. It leaves room for unanswered questions without automatically pointing fingers. Investigations involving water are complicated. Medical examiners don't just glance at a scene and guess. They check for water in the lungs to determine whether drowning occurred. They look for injuries that happened before entering the water. They run toxicology tests. They study the environment. All of that takes time. And until official findings are finalized, the public is working with limited information.
DJ Young Slade, the son of Lil Jon, has died at 27 years old. Lil Jon confirmed the news in a statement telling us he is extremely heartbroken over the tragic loss of his son, Nathan Smith. As we've reported, before his death was confirmed, police had been searching for Nathan after he was reported missing earlier this week near the family's home in Milton, Georgia. Authorities later located a body in a pond close to the property, and investigators worked to confirm the identity. In his statement, Lil Jon tells TMZ, "I am extremely heartbroken for the tragic loss of our son, Nathan Smith. His mother, Nicole Smith, and I are devastated. Nathan was the kindest human being you would ever meet. He was immensely caring, thoughtful, polite, passionate, and warm-hearted. He loved his family and the friends in his life to the fullest." Jon goes on to say he was an amazingly talented young man, a music producer, an artist and engineer, and a graduate of NYU. We love Nathan with all of our hearts and are incredibly proud of him. He was loved and appreciated. Our last times together were comforted in knowing that we expressed that very sentiment to him. Nathan Smith, also known as DJ Young Slade, was 27 years old.
Now let's talk about the timeline, because this is where things start to feel heavy. Nathan was reported missing Tuesday morning. His body was discovered Friday morning. That's roughly 3 days. So people naturally ask, what happened during that window? Was he in the area the entire time? Did he enter the pond earlier in the week and simply wasn't located right away? Or was there movement during those days that hasn't been publicly clarified yet? These are investigative questions, not accusations, just logical gaps people are trying to understand. The medical examiner's office will examine factors like estimated time of passing, environmental impact on the body, and any physical indicators that help build a timeline. They'll assess whether the body shows signs consistent with being in water for multiple days. They'll analyze toxicology results. All of that helps piece together those final hours. Details like water temperature, pond depth, and surroundings can matter. Even small environmental factors can shift how investigators interpret events. That's why official conclusions take time, because precision matters. Until those answers are publicly confirmed, speculation fills the silence. And online, the speculation has been intense. Some theories are grounded in reasonable curiosity. Others stretch far beyond the available facts. Which brings us to another layer, the industry conversation. Whenever someone connected to a major hip-hop figure passes under unclear circumstances, conspiracy narratives start spreading almost immediately. It's almost predictable at this point. People online begin suggesting industry plots, hidden agendas, or secret knowledge. Some claim there's always something bigger behind the scenes. But here's the reality. There is currently no verified evidence supporting those claims. It's understandable that emotions run high, especially when the person involved is the son of Lil Jon. That connection naturally amplifies attention. Still, it's important to separate grief and shock from confirmed facts. Right now, what exists publicly is this. A young man left home under concerning circumstances, was reported missing, and was later found in a nearby pond. Authorities have stated there's no indication of outside involvement at this stage. Anything beyond that, it remains unconfirmed. And until official reports provide more clarity, the conversation stays in that uncertain space between fact and speculation. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the conspiracy talk. Every time something tragic happens around someone connected to fame, the internet goes straight to wild theories. Secret rituals, industry sacrifices, hidden agendas. You've probably seen it all floating around already. I'm going to be real here. Most of that is speculation with zero proof. Most tragedies, as painful as they are, turn out to be exactly what they appear to be. A mental health crisis, an accident, or a personal struggle that escalated. The entertainment world absolutely has pressure, politics, and dark corners. Nobody denies that. But jumping straight to dramatic conspiracy claims without evidence, that usually takes the focus away from what actually matters. Lil Jon has been in the industry for decades. He built his name on crunk anthems and high-energy records. He worked with artists like Usher and LMFAO, and publicly, he's always shown deep love for his son. There's nothing concrete suggesting anything sinister on his end. It's important to keep things grounded. The statement he released alongside Nathan's mother, Nicole, was emotional and raw. They spoke about loving him fully, being proud of him, and making sure he knew how much he meant to them. That doesn't sound like something staged or calculated. It sounds like parents trying to survive unimaginable pain while the world dissects every detail. At the same time, I understand why people ask questions. Hip-hop history has had moments where things weren't as clean as they first appeared. The industry can be intense. There's pressure. There's expectation. There's comparison, especially when you're the child of a major figure. And that's a conversation that feels more grounded than secret society theories. Being a legacy kid isn't always easy. On one side, you have opportunity. On the other, you have a constant shadow. Trying to build your own identity while carrying a last name tied to a global brand? That can weigh on someone, even if they don't show it publicly. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm saying it's a factor worth thinking about. Now let's circle back to the phrase that really stuck with people: unusual circumstances. Law enforcement doesn't throw that wording around casually. It's vague on purpose. It signals that something about the situation stood out without revealing specific details. And that vagueness is what keeps people talking. So what could unusual mean? It could mean Nathan was behaving in a way that worried his family. Maybe he was expressing confusion. Maybe he seemed fearful. Maybe he reacted to something intensely. It could have been a triggering event. Bad news, overwhelming stress, something internal that spiraled fast. It could also point to a sudden mental episode. In certain crises, people can experience paranoia or extreme fear that feels completely real to them, even if there's no external danger. That can cause someone to run, to hide, to try to escape something only they can see or feel. Again, none of this is confirmed. These are possibilities people discuss when trying to understand behavior that doesn't align with someone's normal pattern. And until official reports give clearer answers, that word, unusual, is going to keep echoing in every conversation about this case. Now let's land this in a real place. Could there have been some kind of private situation that caused Nathan to run? Possibly. Could he have seen or felt something that made him panic? Maybe. But as of right now, authorities have said they found no evidence pointing to outside involvement. And until more information is officially released, if it ever is, we're left with partial answers. And here's the truth that's hard to accept. We might never know every detail about what happened that Tuesday morning. The family has every right to keep certain things private. Grief is already heavy. Going through it while strangers debate your loved one's final moments, that's another level. Not every painful detail needs to be public. When the news broke, the hip-hop community showed up in a big way. Artists, producers, DJs, fans, people across the culture shared condolences and memories. timelines were filled with tributes, stories from those who had met Nathan, even briefly, describing him as kind and grounded. That consistency says something. But what really stood out was how many people started talking about mental health. After this tragedy, artists began opening up about their own struggles, depression, anxiety, dark periods they kept quiet about. You saw conversations shifting. Rappers who normally present strength and confidence started speaking on therapy, on getting help, on breaking silence. That's powerful, because here's the uncomfortable reality. In a lot of communities, especially among young black men, vulnerability is often discouraged. From early on, there's pressure to man up, to suppress emotions, to handle everything alone. Crying gets labeled as weakness. Asking for help gets misunderstood. But bottling things up doesn't make pain disappear. It just hides it. If there's anything that can come from this loss, maybe it's more honest conversations, more check-ins, more acceptance that struggling doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And if you're watching this right now and dealing with depression, anxiety, or thoughts of harming yourself, please reach out for support. In the US, you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free and available 24/7. You can also talk to someone you trust, a counselor, a support group. Just don't isolate yourself. Your life has value, even when your mind tries to convince you otherwise. To Nathan Smith's family, friends, and everyone who loved him, sending strength your way. Grief doesn't move on a schedule. Take your time. Protect your peace. If you got thoughts on this situation, drop them in the comments, but keep it respectful. This isn't gossip. This is real life. If you want more deep dives into what's really happening in celebrity culture, the stories behind the headlines, tap that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And make sure you check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now. It breaks down another situation that has the industry talking. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay aware, and take care of each other.